Outside the car, Hamas fighters and a huge crowd. Huddled inside, 3 Israeli hostages. Handed over to the Red Cross on their way back to their families after more than a year in captivity. In Tel Aviv, they'd gathered to watch history unfold.
I just can't believe that this day is finally here and that it didn't come already a long time ago as well. I just can't imagine what these girls have gone through and can't wait to have them back in our arms. I can't explain what we feel. I can't explain. We're like just like a big family. That's all I can feel. I don't know them, but they're like my sisters. I can't explain. It's insane.
Amongst those freed today, Emily Damari, a British-Israeli dual national and a Tottenham Hotspur fan, kidnapped on October the 7th from kibbutz Kfar Aza.
My beautiful, funny and brave daughter, who I love to the moon and back, deserves to come home. I need to hug her again, and I need to see her smile.
Also released, Doron Steinbrecher.
Come on, chat be like, oh, Tottenham fan, send her back. Calm down, man. Calm down. This is y'all are fucking stupid. First of all, Ested is a Spurs fan as well. Friend of the show, Ested, also a Spurs fan. I didn't realize I had so many goddamn gooners in this chat. What the hell is going on? None of you watch this much football, dude.
Veterinary nurse, again from Kfar Aza. And Romy Gonen, shot and abducted at the Nova Music Festival. We spoke to her mother after a previous ceasefire deal collapsed.
We were so sure she will go out at Friday, and it was devastating. To wake up at 4:30 and follow the news and then see there is no list.
In Gaza today, as the ceasefire began, smiles, selfies, and most of all, a sense of relief. Here, they chant patriotic songs. My homeland, you're a paradise. Victory, victory, shout these boys. Some of the widest smiles on the faces of Gaza's paramedics.
I'm sorry, man. How can you not feel elation and joy when you see these people who have gone through the absolute worst thing, like historically imaginable, the absolute worst thing, a genocide, having a sense of having a sense of hope and optimism. Now, on the one hand, I don't feel that this ceasefire will hold in terms of like the first phase into the second phase. I do not trust the Trump administration to actually maintain any sort of like dignity for the Palestinians in this process. I don't think that they're pro-Palestinian even remotely. But having said that, in this moment, just like I've advocated for Ukraine as well, like a ceasefire brings humanity back. You know what I mean? It's great. Even if you can't actually trust the Israeli side to maintain the ceasefire or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, look at this. These people, for once, after 400 plus days, do not have to fear that a drone strike could take them out. This is something that none of us will ever understand. Like, we will never be able to understand this level of fear. Like, existing in this situation, existing within the confines of living inside of a concentration camp that is being genocided by an oppressive sovereign state backed by the largest superpower on the planet. So no matter who's doing it, no matter how they're doing it, no matter how they push for it, I will always and forever be grateful for those who seek out peace, even if it is for a brief moment. Okay? So much respect to Donald Trump's golfing buddy, real estate shark, Witkoff, and the Trump administration for, at least in the interim period, pushing for a ceasefire and hostage negotiation that Biden never had the interest of pushing for 15 months of death and destruction. Okay? Now, on the one hand, I mention this with the full recognition that there are probably additional deals that were made to Benjamin Netanyahu in terms of sullying this deal down the line, in terms of giving them more weapons to even bomb Gaza further. Trump wants normalization with Saudi Arabia. West Bank's annexation is a no-go. Yeah. If we haven't already, I think it's important to highlight just how many members of Hamas were able to muster in full uniform with weapons after a massive military operation. Yeah. This, by the way, once again, is a show of force and is basically to tell Israel, like, you didn't do anything. Like, look at this. Like, after 15 months of unlimited maximalist genocide, you still have a standing military with operational procedures, gear. Obviously, they don't wear this gear when they're fighting. This is more so usually symbolic. But it's crazy to think that they just pummeled the Gaza Strip for 15 months. And these guys still have some kind of command structure, operation structure, divisions. They're fully operational. Like, look at that. All Israel did was butcher women, children, and the elderly, causing both Hamas and Islamic Jihad and, you know, the PFLP, DFLP, and numerous other coalition forces that are tasked with the emancipation of Palestine to genuinely increase their ranks. It's not about Hamas. Hamas is all but a name. But if the goal is to end Israeli sovereignty over Palestinians, one, that is a righteous goal. Two, it's an understandable goal. And three, it will take the shape and form of numerous different names, but the goal will still remain because the people have a worthy cause. Emancipation is a worthy cause. That's it. That's it. You cannot bomb people into, unless you do a full-blown genocide, unless you complete the genocide, okay? You are not going to be able to successfully undermine millions of people's interest in emancipation. That's it. One of the most unexpected developments today is that in Yemen TV, the state broadcaster of the Republic of Yemen has journalists embedded inside of Gaza. Here's a Yemen TV journalist asking an Al-Qassam fighter to send a message back home to the people of Yemen. This is a message to this is a message from the resistance fighters to our brothers in Yemen. All our greetings, all our greetings, all our greetings to our people in Yemen. Yemen is a crown on the heads of the people in Gaza. Yemen is a crown on our heads. All greetings to Yemen. All respect to them. Even with full genocide, there's still diaspora. Yeah, I mean, there's still diaspora. Is Hasan an Israel supporter? Brother, what do you think? What a crazy question. Yuck. Anyway. There's still a diaspora, and there's still going to be a ton of people who are going to want, understandably, to go back to their ancestral homelands. Yeah, Jeremy wrote an article. I'll read it as well. But let's continue with this. Bro, they got the social media division going too. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. What is it? Hamas released the video showing the Israeli hostages. Oh, the hostage release video, you mean? Okay. Let's get back to this is from NTV, but let's get back to where was it? Oh, damn, you got Trump out there too. Let's get back to the coverage here first.
They've spent the past 15 months witnessing unbearable horror. Now, Israel's bombs, at least for the moment, have fallen silent. It's over, he shouts.
I really hope
parading
so.
on the streets, Hamas fighters putting on a show of force. Despite the bloodshed, they're trying to portray the fact they're still standing as a victory. We remain. Netanyahu is a failure in the dustbin of history, this man proclaims belligerently. But much of Gaza now resembles an apocalyptic wasteland. Displaced families today began to return to the north of the Strip.
I'll get to Trump in a second.
Ferocious and renewed Israeli offensive in recent months has left destruction as far as the eye can see. Sami Barakat has come to see what's left of the 3 apartments and supermarket his family once owned.
We found the place destroyed, as if it had been hit by an earthquake or a volcano. It's indescribable. This street used to be the most beautiful street in the Jabalia area.
Practically Gaza's entire population has been forced out from their homes. Sami's daughter Aya is wondering whether to pitch a tent on the ruins of their house.
I'm here next to my destroyed house. I look left and right and see nothing that can be salvaged. I'm unable to describe these feelings. No human can. Where will we live? This is the question for which we have no answer.
Some here can barely recognize where their homes once stood.
Another thing that I worry for in the ceasefire interim period is the random criminal elements that Israel gave weapons to in an effort to further destabilize aid distribution and what they will do to take advantage of the structure. But seeing that there is still very clearly a Hamas command and control over the area, hopefully they will be able to create some semblance of order. Because that is the reality, by the way. Like there were literal criminal elements that they were offering American weapons to in an effort to ruin aid distribution. So there will probably be internal instability in the interim period within the Strip that the media will probably portray as like, oh, these are brave forces that are taking matters into their own hands to combat Hamas for the crimes of like what Israel did to Hamas in the upcoming weeks. You'll hear some news coverage on that if it does happen.
Others pick through the debris, looking for any possessions they can find. Still, amidst it all, there's also defiance. Despite the siege and the destruction, says Mina, we will raise the flag of Palestine, no matter the cost, and we will be victorious. For both sides in this awful conflict, there is now a new hope that more hostages will be released, that the war will finally end. Well, everyone here at Hostage Square hoping to be back here again next week. That's when the next batch of Israeli hostages are due to be released. Meanwhile, currently in the occupied West Bank, preparations underway for the release of around 90 Palestinian detainees. We've already seen dozens of aid trucks entering into Gaza today, delivering much needed vital supplies for people there. At the moment, families in Gaza who've been displaced to the south cannot yet return to the north. They'll be able to do that next week. But there are
they're also not allowing celebrations in the West Bank. It's illegal for the Palestinians to celebrate their family members being returned.
Still concerns about how long this ceasefire will last, particularly whether it will go beyond the first 6-week phase. Ultra-nationalists here in Israel insist on trying to defeat Hamas militarily, whatever that might mean. You can see from the images today, though, the group's still very much on the ground there.
Sek, thanks very much indeed. Well, as you just heard, one of the hostages returned this afternoon is 28-year-old Emily Damari. She was the only British-Israeli citizen still being held by Hamas in Gaza. In the last few minutes, these images of her with her mother have been released. According to witness testimonies from the attack, she was shot in the hand and injured by shrapnel.
What do you mean by not allowed? Exactly what you think I mean. As in, if Palestinian families celebrate their hostages coming back home from the Israeli detention facilities, they will be arrested and put into Israeli detention facilities again.